Okay, everyone, I think I'll get started here. Thank you for tuning in as we go along, and if we have a few more people joining as we go through, feel free to leave a question or a comment in the chat, and I will answer that as we go. If you have any questions about any of the subject matter we're going over today, again, feel free to throw that in the chat. But I'm Ryan McDonough with Metro Roberts Realty, and here for our weekly webinar. And today what we're going to cover is some of the management and maintenance to help you get the most out of the Smart CRM and kvCORE. As we all know, the CRM is the lifeblood of everything you do within kvCORE and also your business. So today we're going to go over all the ways that you can get your contacts into kvCORE and then nurture your contacts, and then hopefully turn that into some positive positive business for you. So we're going to go over importing your contacts, ways you can add a contact manually, adjusting certain details, and so we'll go over some of the capabilities associated with some of the details and specifications you can make with your contacts in kvCORE, ways you can adjust search alerts, and then also kind of, now that you have your contacts in and everything's organized, what the next step is for you. So let's get started. So the first thing you'll do is you'll go into your kvCORE dashboard once you log in, and the first thing we're going to do is just kind of I'm going to quickly show you how to import your contacts. So where you'll go first is in Lead Engine. And then down here to Bulk Import. Then down at the bottom here, there's a spot that says Let Us Handle It, and you can submit a spreadsheet file here. That is one of the best things that kvCORE offers, is the capability to import an already existing list of contacts, and they handle it all for you. It saves you a ton of time, it saves you tons of headaches, and they just handle it for you. The files that are accepted here are CSV files, which is just a certain way to save your Microsoft Excel or Google Doc spreadsheet. So if you have your contacts on a spreadsheet, you can import them directly to kvCORE. Ways I've also seen agents import contacts are if they've exported them from Matrix. That's a way. So basically any way that you can get a CSV file, and again, that's just where you go to say, like if you have an Excel spreadsheet, it's just a certain way you save it, the same way you'd save it as a PDF or a doc or something like that. CSV is just one of those options. And then any way you can get a CSV file of your list of contacts, you'll be able to put them into kvCORE. So when you submit your file, you'll click this green button. You'll have to accept that you're giving them permission to do this. Hit next, and then you'll just have to import you'll have to give them some information. That's all. And this is kind of where you'll import your file. And again, for first-time users, I am always willing to meet, and we can do this together. I've done this with lots of agents, and it's been, very comfortable doing that. So again, a very nice thing that kvCORE does is offering to handle importing your already existing list of contacts. So that is great. Okay, so moving on, I'll show you how to import add a contact manually. So over in your Smart CRM, right here, let me just go to my own CRM here, 1 second. For those of you that are, for all the agents in our office, this will go right to your CRM, but I'm an administrator, so that's why everyone's showing up on mine. But anyway, so here's my CRM. This is, I've just got a couple contacts that I've created that are more just for test purposes. So this is what the CRM looks like. It shows your activity, location of interest, if they've had any sort of, if kvCORE has any sort of data on some of their interest. You can see right from this screen the last time they visited one of your websites, the last time you called them, the day they were created, how they came into your CRM, whether it was a manual ad or they were through Facebook or something like that. And then if there's any sort of next action that you have planned, like perhaps you have an email scheduled to go out to them in 2 days, that'll appear here. That's a good way to kind of track your next touch points. So to add a contact manually, you'll click this green button here, add contact. And then here's where you'll enter in the information. So I'm going to enter Jim Smith. His email is jimsmith@gmail.com. Cell phone number is 55755-2890. You have to enable permission to email, call, or text. Otherwise, you won't be able to do so through kvCORE, of course. I'm going to say this person's a buyer, and he is a prospect. Manually add. I don't want to add him to any sort of smart campaign or anything like that, and I don't have any notes to associate with him, so I'm just going to add him as a contact. So here he is. This is my contact. He is created. So you see it just took a couple seconds. Now you saw that this is kind of where we'll get into our next topic of the webinar, is all these details associated with each lead. So you saw that I made him a prospect. Now, kvCORE allows you to kind of label each of your leads based on their status. Many agents, when they import their contacts initially, they will put everyone as part of their sphere. But as you go along, you can kind of update these statuses, and that's a good way to kind of track and just see kind of where these leads stand, and you can continue to send some of these prospects or new leads, send them relevant content more often to hopefully kind of continue to encourage them to do business with you. So that's a good way. That's the first way to kind of start sorting out your leads. The next is the type, the buyer. Are they a buyer? Are they a seller? Or do they rent from you or someone you know? Are they a vendor? Are they another agent? That's another good way to kind of sort your leads, so that you're not sending seller information to potential buyers and vice versa. So it's a good way to sort out and send relevant content to so that they don't get sick of the content you're sending them. You want the content to be the most relevant to them as possible. Next, you can kind of track their activity. If they were active on your website at all, you can track that here. Any sort of property views, you can also track that here, and that'll show up here in the feed as well. You see they have their phone number, their email here. Those are editable with this little pencil icon. If I think that, okay, this person gave me a new phone number, I want to change it, you can do that right here. Make sure you save as you go along. Then over here, You can add them to search alerts, campaigns, or have market reports sent to them on a semi-regular basis. And those can all be automated, and we'll kind of get to those as we move along in our webinar here. But here you'll be able to track and see if Jim Smith has been added to any of your marketing campaigns or have any sort of search alerts. So if someone does respond and say, hello, please stop sending me stuff, I am not interested, you can just come in and politely remove them this way. Or if they say, I want more stuff, I'm interested in these kind of properties, you can create a search alert for them, which we will get to in a minute. The next thing down here is the hashtag, and hashtags are amazingly important. Hashtag is another way to further sort your leads. So you have your status, and then you have their association, whether they're a buyer or seller, so their type. So you have your status and their type, and then the hashtag is a third way to kind of uniquely identify them. So a hashtag would be something that you would want to you'd want to label them with a particular area or listing type that they might be interested in. So if someone attended at one of your open houses, or they're viewing properties that are in a particular area, you're going to want to tag them with that area. So let's say you have a listing in Lancaster, and you're seeing that, or I'm sorry, someone is viewing a lot of properties in the Lancaster area. You know that this person is interested in that area. You can tag them with Lancaster, and you can add multiple ones. So let's say they attended one of your open houses, and that property they saw was the address 123 123 Oak Street in Lancaster. So you can also do a particular property. So you'd want to tag them with 123 Oak. So now you can send them information about 123 Oak because you know that that's the property that they are interested in. And then you can also in the future send them all this Lancaster information because you know that at one point in time they were interested in Lancaster. So keep your hashtags updated, and you can also do something like if you see that they are interested in homes with a deck or a pool or something like that, you can also do pool. So you can do many hashtags. The benefit to hashtags is now I'm going to close out of this lead for 1 second. The benefit of the hashtags is you see them here. You can filter through, and let's say you have a new listing in Lancaster and you want to start promoting it. A good way to do that would be going in and into your filter and finding all of your Lancaster people that you know at one point in time were interested in Lancaster, and here they are. You can select them all, and you can send them a mass email or text with that new listing, kind of saying, hello, I have a new listing in Lancaster. Feel free to contact me if you're interested. Something like that. So the hashtags are important. They're a really good way to kind of sort through and uniquely identify all of your leads so that you can hopefully do business with them in the future. So if you host an open house and you get 10 new leads, hopefully one of those people that attended your open house is the buyer, but then you've got 9 more people that you might not have done business with yet. You can put those into your CRM, you can nurture them, you can hopefully do business with them in the future. But hashtags are a big part of that because they kind of keep you organized. So that's moving on. We'll kind of talk about more of the details you can add to each lead. Now, if you're working with a buyer, you can create a search alert for that buyer. So clicking on search alerts, this Jim Smith is not added to any search alert, but he says, I want properties. I'm really interested in Lancaster, and this is my price range, and I want whatever. You can kind of say, okay, I will send you properties as often as you want. So this is how you would accomplish that. Go into add alert, and right now we see that there's an inactive alert. You want to create one for him. So hit edit, and he wants a single home in Lancaster. So let's see. He wants nothing really particular like this. He's just interested in the Lancaster area. You can be as specific or vague as you'd like here. So we're gonna say Lancaster area. No real specifications on the bedrooms, but we'd like probably two or more. No bathroom specification. Now the price range is important. So let's say he says he doesn't want to go as high as 200,000. So we'll cap it at 190. We'll put a minimum of 110,000, just so that he's not getting tons and tons of properties that might not fit his range. And that's it. So that's all he wanted. Now down here, he might say, I want all the properties available at any time they come in. So you could set it as he gets these alerts as soon as possible. Or he might say, I'm not really seriously in the market. I probably only want these every so often. So you could say twice weekly, once weekly, maybe monthly. But the way these will come in is they will come in an email from you, and it'll kind of just have the properties listed. Now you can also CC yourself on this email or anyone else. Like perhaps Jim Smith has, you can put Jim Smith's wife in there, or anyone that he's, anyone that, he might say, send these properties to whoever, so you can have someone else copied on that, multiple addresses, and you can also send him open houses. So the way you do that is you'd save it, and it's now active. So we got Jim Smith's, and as you can see, there's already some results that have come in. So I'm going to deactivate that just for test purposes. And so you see how easy that is. Activate it, deactivate it. You can also add a second alert. So he might say, I don't want to limit myself to Lancaster. I kind of want also, I want to look at properties in Lackawanna. You can do that too. You can also just make a really broad alert here too. So like that area, I said Lancaster. The Lancaster area. You can also add an area too. So you can just put a whole bunch of different areas in here or zip codes and just kind of put it all in one alert if you'd like. So that's an important thing. And then now, as you can see, you can kind of see, you can kind of add their interests, kind of the kind of properties that they're interested in. You can add talking points to your lead. I see you have been looking for, anything like that. You can add any of their social media or their spouse's information or a second email address. You can also put their birthday in here, which is important to a lot of agents. They like to know their clients' birthdays. So a lot you can do here, and you can again put in their home preferences here, and save them like that. So there's a lot you can do here to kind of stay on top of your buyers and send them really good information and relevant information to them. So that is good. Now also, what you can also do is you can go into your listings. I'll just choose the first one that comes up just for test purposes. You can select a listing here. And then you saw here, you can send a listing to a particular hashtag via email or text. That's another way that hashtags are important. If you go into the listing, up here in the three dots, you can hit add to saved, and then you can add that to a leads. So I could add this to Jim Smith and say, and you can send it to them via text or email, or not at all. You can just save it to them, to their feed that only they'll see, but you can send it to them any way you'd like. You can just say, I thought you'd be interested in this property, and then send it to them. And then it'll show up kind of in their feed within their contact profile that we were just at. So there's a lot of really nice and interesting ways that you can stay on top of your buyers and send them relevant information. So then the last thing I'll go over is the filter. You've seen it a little bit today when I've just kind of been going through, but what makes it so important to stay on top of one of the reasons it makes it so important to stay on top of your organization with your leads is that you can filter out different ways to only show certain leads. Like a couple minutes ago, I only showed a particular hashtag. And then it makes it easy to select all and send them relevant content as a one-off. But you can also, if you want to send out something to all new leads or all hashtags that are about one particular listing, you can do that. That makes it very easy if you're hosting an open house or something like that. You can take all the tagged people that were interested in one particular listing, and you can send them a text right away that just says something like, thank you for attending the open house. Offers are due next week, something like that. But what makes it, you can also filter based on behavior. You can look and see, you might think like, oh man, I haven't contacted a group of people in a long time. Let me look at people who the last time I emailed them was last week or something like that. And then you can filter it that way. Or you could say, I want to see all the people that have saved one of my properties or that who have been active recently. And then I'm going to start hitting them because I know that they're interested. You can do all that. And then also you can save your filter here. So if you really like a certain filter that gets good results, that kind of updates frequently, kind of like the behavioral filters, you can save them. And then up here, you can just select it. So like here, I have a saved property filter. I can just go to that. So that is very helpful. The filters are key. So yes, you can do a lot with the filters. And then I'll kind of talk about quickly what's the next step once you have your contacts in here, once you have them sorted pretty easily, and kind of what you do next. So there's a lot you can do. We have other webinars that we've done in the past about marketing autopilot and things like that, but marketing autopilot is the way that you would create automated campaigns for text and email that would go out to certain groups of your leads automatically. And that's a good way to kind of keep your sphere and your contacts engaged. And basically what you would do after your contacts are in here and they are sorted and uniquely identified, you can create smart campaigns that are based on their interests and their status and their types, and then just have automated content sent to them. So you can kind of take your foot off the gas a little bit, your hands off the steering wheel, and kind of let the campaigns that you've set up kind of take control. So that would be the big thing. You can even create marketing campaigns based on just particular hashtags. So if you like working in a particular area, like Lancaster, South Buffalo, Cheektowaga, place like that, you can kind of have campaigns that go out to only people that you know are interested in particular areas. Send them, promote the area, send them the festival schedules or what's going on in the area or something like that. A good way to kind of keep them all engaged and basically just keep your name at the top of their inbox. So there's a lot you can do here. I think that's kind of all I have for today. I hopefully did a good job, not just rambling, and I hope I didn't confuse anyone also. So there's so much you can do here. We've kind of really only scratched the surface, but there's a lot you can do to kind of nurture your leads and stay on top of all kinds of buyers or sellers or leads like that. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining. For those who are interested, please send me an email and we can set up a meeting and I can kind of go through this together, or you can attend my courses that are always in the newsletter and sent to you that way. So again, thank you for tuning in. I hope this was beneficial, and I'm enjoying working with everyone on kvCORE so far. So thanks for tuning in.